cheat codes. Remember those things when we would put in those lovely codes that we'd find on the internet in Grand Theft Auto preferably, and we'd get stuff dropped in right then, right there, without actually waiting or without playing for it. It was a way to cheat the system, isn't it? This is a cheat code car, because if you want to get a Toyota Innova Hycross now, immediately, you're probably not going to get one unless you pay somebody for one a little bit more than what the dealer is selling it at a premium or something like that, or if you have a really good contact. Don't message me for this, okay? Do not. But this is the cheat code car if you want to get a Toyota Innova Hycross, because this is the Maruti version of the Toyota Innova Hycross. It's the Maruti Suzuki Invicto. Sounds very same, Innova Invicto, doesn't it? Anyways, as I mentioned, badged engineered version. So like we've seen with the Glanza and the Baleno and the High Rider and the Grand Vitara and a whole bunch of cars, Urban Cruiser and the Vitara Brezza in the first generation before. This is something that has been long pending. A lot of people have said that Maruti should not have done this. This is not Maruti's segment to play in, and Toyota should not have given them an Innova in the first place. But well, 6,500 people have booked this already, so they're definitely doing something right, isn't it? Now this of course has some changes, so you get obviously a Suzuki badge instead of a Toyota badge, an S instead of a T, and then you get a new grille and a typical Maruti looking front end. In fact, doesn't it look very, very similar to the Innova Krista facelift that came a few years ago? Don't you think that looks similar? It does, doesn't it? The two sort of chrome bits on the front, but you do get the Nexa lighting elements, which is the three little daytime running light dots, which you also get in the tail lamp, which we'll talk about in a second. But overall, I actually like the way this looks. I like the cleanliness of this design, for example, and the daytime running light. It looks a little bit more premium, which is strange, isn't it? Because when the Baleno and the Glanza happened, the Glanza, which came later, looked better than the Baleno, which I'm thinking must have annoyed Maruti people. And now Maruti's done a reverse Uno and had this come out after the Innova, and now this looks better than the Innova, at least from the front. What about the back though? Let's talk about that. Okay, so I like the front better, but I think the rear, apart from the tail lights, which I think look a little more detailed, I really like these candy sort of lighting elements that Maruti has been doing on their cars recently. But in terms of the rear overall, the Innova does look slightly more premium as compared to the Invicto. And of course, you don't get that little chrome garnish on this top of the line version 2 on the exhaust tip. But I mean, apart from that, it is pretty much the same. I mean, any lay person will tell you that this is a rebadged, badged, engineered Innova. It's not going to be very, very different. There are enough changes to sort of differentiate it just a little bit. But again, the swappable changes. So, you know what I think people might actually end up doing? You know how in the 90s people would take a Land Cruiser and put Lexus badges on it? People might take this and put Toyota Innova badges on it, and that'll be quite hilarious to actually see. But apart from that, in terms of the way it generally looks, I think it's a decent looking car. I mean, the base model, the base car rather, the Innova, is a nice looking car, so it's sort of transferred onto the Invicto as well. But again, in terms of just overall details, like that sort of skid plate that the Innova gets, this thing doesn't have one. But again, the Maruti buyer sort of, again, is a price sensitive buyer and a lakh cheaper on the top of the line version. People might just buy this more than what Maruti is expected. They already have 6,500 bookings in this, and if they get more bookings, I think the waiting period on this could be as similar as the Innova. So that thing we mentioned earlier about a cheat code car might not really be true once people actually get to see this in the metal. We'll have to wait and watch. Okay, so let me tell you what the changes on the Invicto are as compared to what you get on the Innova. And there aren't a lot straight up, but let me tell you, this feels a lot less premium as compared to what the Innova Hycross does. And that's mainly because of the way it looks on the inside. It's not because of the way it feels. The Innova gets the brownish leather on the top of the line versions, and that brownish leather does feel really, really premium. It looks really premium. It looks like a more expensive 50, 60, 70 lakh rupee car. This is an all black interior, looks a little bit less premium. And don't get me wrong, I like fully black interiors. I like blacked out cars in general too. But I think I would prefer that sort of brown saddle leather interior that the Innova gets. The strange thing though is, I mean, there's some bronze trim or rose gold trim here and here and on the doors, but then the steering wheel is silver and there's some trim on the dashboard that's silver, which is strange because it's a bit of a mishmash of trim here and there. And I don't know why they've done that. They could have easily chosen one single color and stick to it. But I guess they wanted a little bit of flavor, which is what this bronze brings in. You get the panoramic sunroof, which is the same, but again, as I said, the seats, they feel the same. They feel as premium as the ones on the Innova. They don't look as premium, but the big difference in the seats are actually in the back, because those awesome Ottoman seats that you get on the Hycross are missing in the Invicto. I'm going to put a small clip of me sleeping in the back of that Innova on those awesome seats. Let the clip start here. Yeah, those seats, those are missing. So I won't be able to sleep as comfortably maybe in the back of this, but considering the fact that I can sleep in any car, maybe that's not true. But you do get that sort of feature missing. And of course, there are some other features missing as well. But I think we'll step out and recap what those features are, and then we'll come to a conclusion. Should you buy this cheat code car or should you not? Let's discuss. Okay, so let's wrap this up, right? There are some changes which are very obvious. So like, for example, you get 17-inch wheels standard on the Invicto as compared to the 18s on the Innova, and they still feel like they've skipped leg day. I mean, that's something that we sort of mentioned in all the Innova videos as well. It needed bigger tires. Same holds true on this. In fact, it holds even more true on this because it is a smaller wheel and tire overall as compared to what the Hycross gets, or the top of the line Hycross gets. And the other thing is, this doesn't get a base model as such. It gets only a hybrid version. Now, this is a good and bad thing, because with the Grand Vitara, Maruti's realized a lot of people do want that hybrid version. So offering a base sort of skipped out non-hybrid version of this with a manual, maybe not exactly what they wanted to do with this car. They want to keep it a little more premium, at least to begin with, and then maybe later they'll have like a manual stripped down version for the commercial audiences or for the commercial market, which in any case eventually will happen. Whether they like it or not, people are going to buy these cars for fleet markets and use them as taxis. So that's going to happen. But overall, with the difference of say a lakh and this being cheaper and in my opinion better looking, at least in the front, I think Maruti's got another winner on their hands. Yes, you don't get ADAS, which is a big skip out or a big miss in my opinion, because again, as I've said in every video which has ADAS related to it, ADAS saves lives. So this should have had ADAS as standard, because you realize no Maruti car today has ADAS as an option either. Yes, you're paying a little bit less, but wouldn't you rather pay a little bit more and get the Innova? Tell us what you guys think in the comment section below. Would you get one of these with the Suzuki badge on it, or would you get the OG? I'm still a little confused. I mean, they drive the same probably. Yeah, tell me in the comments. I want to know what you guys would do, guys.